Good morning, business builders. Welcome to Business for Breakfast, where business is the most important meal of the day. I'm your host, Aaron Novinger. Our goal on this channel is to make you 1% smarter today by unpacking business news over the last 24 hours, sprinkled in with tips and tricks to help you mind your own business. Now, I know why you guys are here, and it ain't for me. It's for the morning mark. We already know that. Okay. So let's go ahead, shall we? And delve into our morning mark. I know why you're here. You're here for the morning mark. No props required, no drinks, no gear, just you and a functioning brain. We'll work with what we've got wherever you are right now. Desk, truck, kitchen, job site, standing, sitting, it does not matter. You pick one thing, you will finish today. One thing, not a list, not 10, not three, just one. Now mark it mentally and write it down. That's the thing that this day does not get to erase. This is the pause that sharpens the edge, the moment that turns noise into signal, the tiny act that makes business owners dangerous in a good way. That, my friends, is your morning mark. Your day has officially started. Let's dive in, shall we? You guys have no idea about this show. And JW, thank you, sir. Sounding and lighting is terrific. You have no idea how amazing that is every day to get you to say that for me. Because if I don't have you doing it the whole time, I don't know if people trust me. You and I both know I've had some embarrassing moments. And so I just don't know if everybody's able to hear me or not. So thank you, sir, for being my lighthouse on the show. Now, you guys know, before we jump in to some crazy, juicy news, I wanted to start with a quote for today. And you guys know each day I like to start with a joke, a quote, this day in history, something interesting, because again, the purpose of today is to make you 1% smarter. So I'm quite positive that in my opinion, the best business for breakfast episode you've ever heard or seen. I kind of feel like today you're going to pick up some things you ain't never heard before. Are you ready? Of course you are. So here's the quote. This was actually, I was scrolling on X yesterday, and Tim Allen actually posted this. It was terrific. In quotes, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. You guys know that's Marcus Aurelius, right? Marcus Aurelius is trying to convey that a person's happiness is determined primarily by how they think, not by external circumstances. The nature, discipline, and moral quality of one's thoughts shape how events are perceived and experienced. If thoughts are rational, virtuous, and well ordered, life feels content and stable. Are you catching this? I mean, this just started like resonating with me like a tuning fork this morning. If thoughts are negative, irrational, or uncontrolled, life feels unhappy. This is direct quote from him. Life feels unhappy regardless of outward conditions. Did you hear that? You're not happy regardless of outward conditions. According to him, happiness is an internal state governed by the mind, and improving one's thoughts improves. According to him, happiness is the internal state governed by the mind, and improving one's thoughts improves one's life. That right there, we won't do it today, but I'm telling you, we could probably spend an hour unpacking just that. If that does not blow your face, mind, and brain right off, I don't know what will. Because you guys, I'm gonna give you guys something right here, and we'll jump into some news. And trust me, we've got gnarly news. Okay, but I need to unpack a thing for you real quick. So today's going to be amazing, but I need to give you guys a little revelation that I had about 15 years ago. So many of you guys know I was in ministry for 10 years and I pastored for many of those 10 years. I had no desire to be in ministry, but it was a calling, and quite honestly, the arguably the greatest experience of my life, meaning the experience plus what it taught me. And so I have a very unique system because I build systems and processes that allow things to scale. And so it's very easy for me to build things to big entities because I know how to engineer things. And so I had created, when I was in ministry, I was full time. So I ran the two largest ministries in our church full time, um, meaning I had a full time job and I was running these two full time ministries. And then my entire leadership team was also part time, and we all of us were volunteer led. And but if you know anything about American churches, you know that that never happens. But it's because of the structure that I created that allowed, and because of that, our church didn't have to pay as much in salary, which meant I'm not exaggerating here. I believe the church that I pastored at, it for sure, it's in the top 1% of churches that give funds away because of how much they have. I mean, they are the model, right? And so, about 15 years ago, I was in India, and I got asked to speak at a bunch of pastors' conferences. So I was there for like 2 weeks, and I remember waking up one morning, um, and I was in a what they would consider like like a 5-star hotel, right? And basically just because it had like a porcelain toilet, right? I'm not exaggerating. Okay, and so like without exaggeration, you would pick a Motel 6 any day of the year over this, right? So what I'm saying is I open the window. I do this with the curtains and open it up, okay? And instantly my spirit puts a check in me that says, "What do you see?" I was like, "Huh? Okay." And by the way, this is India, bro. Like everybody's barefoot, cows are roaming everywhere. Like, I don't know, people are bathing and playing in the same creeks that they're dumping their trash and cows are bathing and going to the bathroom in. I'm not kidding, okay? And it said, "What do you see?" And so here's what I see. And what I hear is you're looking at happiness. And I'm like, "What?" And watch this, guys. This right here changed my life because I came from America that we were taught. And by the way, billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars over the years has been spent trying to convince you and me that the only way is buying the trifold. I'm not kidding. Okay. And because of that, um, most of us walk around with a prescription to remove anxiety when in actuality, it's within us. That's the quote by Marcus Aurelius. And here's what I saw for happiness. Are you guys ready for this? And by the way, go to India. They are a billion times happier than we are. As a matter of fact, everybody on planet Earth is happier than we are. So how's that? Wealthiest country, most excess, have more crap than we need, and we're the least happy. I don't know. Maybe because happiness has nothing to do with the crap we buy. I don't know. Maybe. Here's what I see. And this is what my spirit says. This is the definition of happiness. Are you ready? Number one, directly across the street from about a block over was a telephone pole. And at the top of it had like a big speaker. And you guys know, I think in India, their religion is Hindi. And so they, in every village and every town, like they have their prayers. And so routinely they're broadcasting to the community. Right. And so it was faith. Not the Hindu faith, but faith. Faith in believing in something bigger than you, which is why for us as business owners, that is usually a check mark unless you run this business purely for a dollar bill and the crap you can buy. And in that case, yes, you actually have purpose. You actually have purpose, but you're focusing on a dollar bill. One is a steak, one is a rice cake. You get to pick. Uh-huh. Right. So faith, which gives us a sense of purpose. And then here's what I see. I see so across the street directly was two as a row of buildings, like 2 stories tall. Okay. And the building to the right, okay, on top of it was two kids barefoot running to and fro, flying a kite. I'm not making this up. This is literally what I saw. And it says activity. You gotta move. You gotta move. You gotta be outside. You gotta touch grass. You gotta see the sun. You gotta feel rays. You gotta feel cold. You've got to get grounded with the miracle of nature. And it was like activity. Be outside, right? Be doing something. Release those endorphins, right? Okay. And then what else do I see? Two, so the building next to me, okay, so this is the right, this is to the left. This is also a 2-story building, and it looks like a hometown suites. Like it's like 2-story like apartment complex, but the hallways are in the front, like walkways, and the doors are like a motel. Like it's like that, a 2-story motel. and two dudes like standing out front, leaning on a rail, sipping coffee in flip flops, which India is literally the dominant shoe in India, and it says community, faith, activity, and community. That is what will make you happy, not buying junk. As a matter of fact, Marcus Aurelius, he was also not only a brilliant philosopher, he was brilliant in, I don't know, you guys know what I'm trying to say. It's early, okay? But he was also the leader of the country, and so he would tell his soldiers when they're out, "Amori fati, love your fate. Wherever you're at, want more of it. Love where you're at. If you're stuck and you're like, and all you want is to get out of it, change it today. Today, no. Bring it. Bring it. Bring it. Keep bringing it. You remember the Forrest Gump? Captain Dan? Try it. I love this. Keep bringing it. If I got lessons to learn, teach it to me. But no. This is teaching me something. This happening to me, for a reason. Things don't happen to me, they happen for me. This is happening for me, and I want to hang out here long enough to figure it out. You get it? One is I'm a victim. The other one is, oh no, the buck stops here. Some of you guys need a mental check the first thing in the morning because you've got years and years and years of negative talk, man. Right? All right. Hopefully that, guys, gives you guys a little bit of encouragement. I read that quote of the day by Tim Allen. Was it Tim the Tool Man? What was his the Tool Man Taylor? He's like, I just did. Don't you love when you can make yourself laugh? Okay. Who's ready for some juicy news? Juicy news. All right. Let's do it. Let's do it. By the way, you guys know I cannot sing, but I sing constantly. I don't know why, but I just do. Okay. Before we get into some juicy news, actually, this is juicy news, and it's probably the most important juicy news. You guys know that a couple weeks before Scott Adams passed away, I'd been feeling my spirit for the last year say that you have to do a daily show, but I have not felt in my spirit. And so I don't know if you guys are the same way, but my spirit works like a stoplight. There's most of the time it's red, sometimes it's yellow, and every once in a while it turns green. Okay. But I really, really try to listen to that. And so when Scott was in the hospital, the red light of the show turned yellow. And I was like, okay. And then it happened to be, I guess he passed last Tuesday. And that's when the spirit said green light. And you guys will see the day after Scott passed, I did the very first Business for Breakfast show. And you guys know everything we do, the flow, the morning mark, every episode we finish up here to pay tribute to Mr. Adams, I read a reframe, and I'm so flipping excited about the reframe. I promise you, you're going to love the juicy news, but the reframe today is flantastic. Okay, so get ready. You're going to love it. But shall we jump into some juicy news? Yes, we shall. Okay, now, here's a biggie in the news. So the SBA, it's called the Trigger Rule for acquisitions, hits the books. So effective January 17th, which you guys know is Friday. Okay. A new SBA rule requires small business to immediately recertify their small business status if they are involved in a merger or acquisition. Previously, businesses could often maintain their small business contract status for years after being acquired by a larger firm. So, and I told you guys this before, and this is huge. There are hundreds of thousands of mom and pop venti shops that are right now struggling because they're getting squeezed, because we know that whenever inflation happens and everything gets squeezed, it's fortune companies really don't deal with that because they actually kind of move it. Okay, they actually move that, and so that's kind of the difficult thing. It actually happens to us. Okay. And so it's really important for you guys to understand that through the mergers and acquisitions piece of it, a lot of times you have companies that have basically one product. Okay. And maybe they create these little nuts or washers specifically for let's say a big, I don't know, Lockheed or something. Okay. And so what used to happen is Lockheed would be able to have this little small business. Remember, SBA deems small business 0 to 500 employees. Okay. So just imagine this. Okay. You've got Lockheed. And by the way, this is normal business acquisition strategy. Normal every year. They just purchase these little like mom and pops, like not mom and pops, but small businesses. Okay. Usually, if you have a contract with the government, you ain't a mom and pop. Okay. Usually, you've got, I don't know, minimum 25, up to could be the 500 employee marker, but you're doing big business with big organizations. Okay. This is what this is saying. From starting Friday, you understand that what you saw before, listen to me. Companies that have 501 employees are not considered small business, which means if a company, let's say you have 200 employees, but you have a company that has about 2,000 employees, right? They're just 10 times your size. Okay. If they go and buy you, that big company that's 2,000 employees is can no longer inherit your contracts because now every year that business has to recertify that they're small business, which means when this contract is up, it can't renew. Which means what? Supply and demand. The supply for small business with government contracts went down big time, big time. Okay. Which means what? Right? There's been a very, very, the demand to snatch up these mom and pop businesses for the contracts basically just disappeared. So if you're one of the hundreds of thousands of businesses that basically does business with one of these big companies, and you were thinking part of your growth plans, you were going to sell to these guys and maintain your small business contracts, no, you cannot. Those days are over, which means you as a small business really need to be diversifying other avenue channels other than government contracts. Okay. And they're giving you plenty of time too. So this stuff, we've been talking about this coming. So you guys have time. And by the way, if you guys have questions about this, anything we talk about, I really want to give you guys an opportunity because there's always two ways to reach me and our accounting firm. One, you go to businessforbreakfastradio.com. Just go submit a question. Hey, Aaron, you'd brought something up about the new rule when it comes to acquisitions, whatever it is. Send it. I'll either reply directly or I'll read it on the air. And if you guys want to talk to me directly, just go to speakwithaaron.com. It's my own personal scheduling website. Again, that's speakwithaaron.com. Speakwithaaron.com. Okay. So just remember that. Speakwithaaron.com. Okay. Oh my gosh, that's my new tagline. Just speak with aaron.com. Okay, I don't even know. We're not going to do that and just forget I just did that. Okay, I'm just experimenting. You guys know that I do this with you guys live. Okay, so whatever comes out of my mouth, I can't help everything. Okay. What else is in the news? Ooh, okay. Precious metals. Mm. Gold and silver have been the assets running the main story in the markets over the last few weeks as the risk off sentiment strengthens, capital is flowing towards safe haven instruments. That was actually on X this morning, and basically what it's saying is uh, we feel pretty good about the direction of the economy. So you understand that we feel good, but also we want to put our money in some other places that's a little bit more stable. Okay, that's what you're saying, and that's why gold, silver, and platinum have been like skyrocketing because precious metals is such a big deal, right? What else is in the news? Ooh, Google rolls out anonymous friendly local reviews. So, what's the story? A new Google business profile update now allows customers to post reviews using pseudonyms or hidden profiles to protect their privacy. So, early data suggests this is leading to a 15% increase in review volume, but with a slight dip in average star rating. Yeah. Man, I don't know, man. When I read that, how does your spirit feel? Like, I'm going to use a line from Rick Rubin. It makes me feel orange. Okay. So that is that's my boy. And when you understand, w- I don't know, it just makes me feel orange. Okay. Because here's why. Here's my rule. Whatever you do, if whatever you do has the potential to directly, listen to me, directly affect the pocketbooks of somebody else, not once, but for a long period of time. You understand that the power of your words has the potential with one five-star review, right? Now that you can do anonymous, I got major beef with this, but I also trust Google. And I know that they are really, really good at thinking of all this stuff. And before they launch this stuff, they beta test it with a handful of people. They work this stuff out before they roll it out. But understand for service providers like us, an accounting firm, therapists, lawyers, specialized clinics, what it does is encourage more feedback from like clients are more focused on privacy, meaning Google is going to know who you are. Okay, but what'll happen is more than likely what happens here is because basically every review gets basically kind of goes through the check system anyway. But it's going to be like, do you want it to be like, here's your review, we're going to validate it, but do you want it to be public or private? And I think it's probably going to be a toggle. So I don't think anything's going to change other than I want to be private. Cool. Now, I do wish, I don't know. I'm going to see how this thing plays out. I'm a little anxious about it at first, but you know what? Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Okay. So let's kind of go into the next big trending story of the day. Breaking news: a group of liberal white women, parentheses mostly, have taken over a Target in St. Paul, demanding Target stop letting ICE and Border Patrol agents use their bathrooms. I kid you not. This is what's trending. I swear on my life, dude. And by the way, I got, obviously, we know, um, got no beef with Crazy White Chicks. Actually, as a matter of fact, it's one of my favorite movies, White Chicks. Okay. But if you understand, go watch White Chicks. First of all, it is timeless. It's classic. It's like, you know what? It's a wonderful life, but like in the 2000s. It's like that. It's like a beautiful story. It's a happy ending. It's fantastic. You feel good. Like the good versus the bad, and the good always wins. I don't know, man. It's like Superman, but lots and lots of laughs. Okay. But white chicks have acted a certain way for quite a while. That's why there's an entire movie about it. So now you know that I'm talking about the rule. There's always exceptions. Come on now. What this is saying, and by the way, walk into a Target. Isn't that primarily what you're going to see? Okay. So obviously, primarily, whoever walks in there is going to be the one that's staging. But this is what's so funny. Like most of these protests are like from budgeted stay at home moms while their dad is out, like, kicking ass and taking names and doing what he needs to do. And you've got, while she's in there, like, no, you just come and get those. You cannot come and get those illegals. And you're like, right. But you understand that you're only saying that until somebody on your street gets broken into or somebody that you know. These are always, people always have feelings about something that has 0% to do with them. Wait until it happens to you. Your story is going to change quick. It's always some gal. It's like with her Starbucks. No, like I just don't believe that's the way it should be. I'm like, right, right. Okay. We have somebody here that is literally living in fantasy land, right? Okay, got it. Right. No, totally understand, right? But this is a big story that's trending right now. Big, big target, and there's a big old like protest happening on right now. I know, I know. It's amazing it hasn't made it to your news. Maybe it has because it's normal. All right, all right. What else is in the news? The right to repair expansion for local tech shops. So here's the story. The NFIB's 2026 agenda has successfully pushed for expanded right to repair legislation in several new states this month. This mandates that manufacturers provide parts and diagnostic tools for smartphones, tractors, and home appliances to independent repair shops. Holy crap! Holy flipping crap! Holy crap! Okay, okay. You guys know that this is enormous, dude. This is enormous. Okay, hold on, hold on, hold on. Let me explain to you what has happened in the last 20 to 30 years. Ready for this? Watch. What do you see here? I'm serious. What is this? Okay. What do you see? Uh-huh, uh-huh. Okay. So here's what you see. Uh-huh, right? Oh my God. Oh my God. You guys see this, right? You guys see, okay. God. You know what movie that's from? Okay. And this. What's the big difference between these things? Oh, I don't know. This, this, this piece of crap battery is the difference. I swear to God. Motorola, please, for the love of Mary, please, for the love of Mary, bring it back. Bring this gorgeous, gorgeous thing back. I mean, you gotta understand, I've had this thing for, let's see, 20 years, 20 years. Listen, can you hear this? Oh my God, hold on. This is a freaking fidget spinner. If you literally like were born in the 70s, grew up in the 80s and parties in the 90s, this is your fidget spinner. Okay? It ain't like this anymore. It's coming back. Did you hear me? The story is coming back. States are now demanding these. Whoo, I almost swore. You guys want to get passionate? I swear. Okay, breathe, calm down, take some tea. Okay. You guys know I have to self-regulate. Passionate people tend to get worked up pretty easily. It has driven me crazy. It is disgusting. It is the worst thing in human history that companies have figured out in the last 20 years. You guys remember in the 1990s, companies stopped being passionate about their people, meaning their employees and their customers. And they shifted being passionate about profits. And you guys saw this. You got away from pensions, and everything starting in the 90s started being made throwaway, including our software. Yeah. Remember how we used to go to Office Depot and buy the box of the latest Windows 7? Yeah. Remember, you owned it. You owned it. Companies have made everything throwaway. Throwaway. This new law that is coming out right now, the right to repair expansion for local tech shops, this is enormous. Okay. This flipping MacBook, yeah, literally, all this stuff is made not to be repairable. And these big companies are saying it's not okay. You have a monopoly on this. You will allow others to fix your crap. This, guys, is enormous for us because what things that speak to me as a mom and pop venti shop owner, where I feel the weight of the world crushing me every second of the day. Finally, somebody's like, "Oh, they're looking after little guy." That's what I feel when I read this. Right? Somebody's finally looking after the little guy. Okay. What else is in the news that's trending? Oh, 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 ooh, ooga, ooga. Here's a huge story coming out right now. Breaking. The New York Stock Exchange, NYSE, is building a venue using blockchain technology to allow for trading tokenized stocks and exchange traded funds around the clock. What in the world? You don't understand what's happening, man. You do not understand what is happening. This administration loves crypto, loves it, loves it, loves it, loves it. Okay. And you also understand that one other nation successfully wiped away their national debt when they converted to their national cryptocurrency. Mhm. Yep. Stable value. Yep. Um, it's not actually even me. If you listen to Scott Adams at all for any length of period, he's been talking about this, that we're moving more and more toward crypto. And again, I never, ever, 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 ever. This is a business show and not a financial or investment show. Okay. So we never make recommendations on investments. I'm just telling you what's going on, and I'm letting you know what's trending. Okay. I'm letting you know what's building right now. And you're seeing it. This is big news. Okay. What else is going on in the news? Hmm. Hmm. What else? Let's see here. Oh, this is a biggie, guys. Here's the title. SBIC reforms open private capital for small manufacturers. So here's the story. New SBA reforms taking effect in February modernize the small business investment company program. Okay. The goal, listen to me, is to reduce red tape and incentivize private equity to invest specifically in small scale American manufacturing and food production. Let me tell you why this is big. So, one of our customers has a manufacturing facility up in central Missouri. You guys know we have three accounting offices that kind of handle the Midwest. So, we have an office in DFW, we have an office in Tulsa, and then we have another one in central Missouri. And so, what you'll see, and one of my customers has a big manufacturing plant, manufactures like different parts and stuff, or for his own marine business, like fishing and stuff. But he also has a really really big dream and goal of to being the largest manufacturer or the largest employer in his hometown in Missouri. It's a real small town, couple thousand is the population, and but that's his dream and that's his goal, and we're going to help him get there. Okay. And so what this is a big deal, because what this is saying is the goal is there. He is the SBI. This is the SBIC is going to make it easier, reducing the red tape for him to get access to money. And they're also going to incentivize big private equity who never in 1,000 years would have touched him. Never. But now they're being incentivized to start looking at the little guy. You understand what, unless you're like at least like 3 million in revenue, most private equity won't even touch you. Like, you're not even big enough to be touched, but you're a big small business, but you're not big enough to be looked at, right? That's what this is changing. This is a big deal, man. This is a big deal for us. These are big deal business news for us, mom and pop venti shops, right? What else? What? Okay, this is breaking news. Breaking news. The Trump brand just entered Wall Street. What? 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 I don't even know what I just read. I don't even know what I just read. I don't even know. Let me explain something to you in business. Let me explain something to you in business. You guys heard me yesterday give you the crappy car rule. Okay, so the Novinger's crappy car law, okay, means if you're following a company and the company and the individual are already insanely wealthy, I'm talking eight, nine, at least eight figures wealthy, and they're still driving a super crappy car and they are the founder. Mm-hmm. You need to put a grommet in. You need to put in your like little tie, right? We need to be Alex Honnold, and we need to basically free solo on the back of this dude. And by the way, this Friday, my boy is coming out. Do you understand? It's already on my calendar. If you saw free solo with Alex Honnold, first of all, it'll blow your mind. Your palms will sweat the whole time. Um, but this Friday, he scales the largest skyscraper on planet Earth. And it's going to be freaking live. It's on Netflix. I've already got it saved. But this is what I'm talking about. When somebody, the crappy car rule, okay, this is the same thing. This is allowing you, this is like, you guys know the insider trading thing with politicians. Literally, it's basically throws Martha Stewart in jail, but it's literally what every politician does. Same thing. One is what every politician does, and the other one is what put our queen, right? So we know that there's Mother Mary, but then we have Queen Martha. Okay, so we know that Mother Mary and the Queen, they're both very big, but we know that nothing get above Mother Mary. But Queen Martha, and they put her in jail. They freaking put her in jail. And it was some freaking like politician that was trying to basically, or somebody was trying to make a name and putting her in jail. Our queen, yeah, they did that. Okay, listen to me. This is what this is. This is giving you, listen to me, you the ability to buy whatever the hell the administration thinks is important, whatever they're pushing. Haven't you always wanted to basically like earn what they earn? America First, in quotes, ETFs launched on the NYSE, including a fund with Bitcoin exposure. Listen to me. Politics, markets, and crypto are now officially merging. It's called America First ETF. Like, my mind is blown right now. Flipping blown. Okay. I don't even know what to think about this. Okay. It's huge. It's huge. Okay. Let's figure out what else is trending because today's news is blowing my mind right off my head. Okay. What else is going on? Oh my gosh. Oh gosh, there's so much huge stuff. Okay. We've been talking about this, but it's important, man, because this happened in January. Okay. Here's the title: Neighborhood level proximity signals replace citywide CEO. Here's the story: January of 2026, search algorithm data confirms that Google has refined its proximity signal ranking for plumber in brackets city is being replaced by ranking for specific neighborhoods or even street level clusters based on real-time traffic and or user movement patterns. Okay. So why? Okay. Okay. This is a note to me. I know what we need to do. If you get most websites, what they do is they will actually go in and you'll put like probably the top 15 cities or like towns around where you're at. And it's listing the towns, which is great, by the way. What this is saying, I'm not kidding here, is you need to be doing a search. And I'm going to do this with you guys right now. Right now, I'm going to pick my Arlington office, okay? And I'm going to do this on Gemini. I'm going to do this on Gemini. I'm going to do this live with it. You guys know this is a living, breathing show, and you guys know that I will do research with you on. I'm going to do this right here. So my Arlington office is in Arlington, Texas. I'm going to go right here to Gemini. I start every prompt with "You are a helpful and intelligent." I'll say content creator with an expertise on getting on, but with an expertise on local neighborhoods. Okay, I'm gonna change from content creator to I'll do your helpful and intelligent surveyor. Okay, with an expertise on local neighborhoods. Please list the top 15 neighborhoods around. Here's my address. Arlington, Texas. Okay, doing it live with you. Ready? And by the way, you guys know Gemini is Google's AI, which we know the number one search engine. Like if we know the 100,000-pound gorilla being Google, which is the number one search engine, and then the 50,000-pound gorilla, which is the second largest search engine, is YouTube. Okay, so clearly, if you're trying to find neighborhoods and stuff, I'm going to lean right toward the source, Gemini. Right? Oh my gosh, there's the list. We need to start targeting these neighborhoods. That's one of our ideas I've got right here. Okay. I've got to make a little note here. Primary neighborhoods. And you guys know I have crazy ADD, so my memory is like 5 minutes. And so I've got to make sure that I make a note of it the second I think of it, because I have like a few seconds before that thought is gone. And we know that's what happens with ADD. What else is going on in the news, people? What else? That reminds me of did you guys remember the old SNL skit? It was Jimmy Fallon, and he was interviewing Jessica Simpson and Nick Lachey. Okay. Oh my God, guys, you are going to die laughing. Die laughing. Okay. So I remember the skit. Jimmy Fallon is just like he's a radio show producer, and he's interviewing Jessica and Nick, and both of them are like, Nick is like, think of Nick famous as like high school Friday night varsity famous, and then think like Jessica Simpson like Sunday afternoon NFL primetime. Okay. Or like Monday Night Football. So both famous in their own way, but one clearly more famous than the other one. And if you know anything about a dude, what we're known for is like our identity. So there's always going to be issues there. You could have saw that divorce coming a mile away. But Jimmy Fallon sits down. He's like, "Oh my God, I'm so excited to talk to you guys. What's going on?" And then as soon as he goes, and we're live, and he goes, and we got Jessica Simpson and Nick Lackey. Nick Lackey with us going on. And they finish up, and he goes, "Why do you keep saying that?" He goes, "Oh, no, I'm saying it's like Nick Lachey, right?" He goes, "That's not what you're saying." So that skit will make you cry because he dogs Nick Lachey. By the way, no beef with that dude, but it's freaking hysterical. What else is happening in the news today? Oh my gosh. Can I give you guys a huge this is a huge thing. It's very personal to me, but it's very huge, okay? It's huge. It's huge, people. It's huge. Huge. Okay? I have the worst Trump like impersonation ever. Okay? Like the worst, okay? But I just basically acted like him. So just imagine me with like really orange skin and hair. It's huge, people. It's huge. So you guys know that Scott was a Scott Adams. Honestly, probably the most I don't know influential person. I literally called him my second dad, meaning life lessons. And by the way, he would call himself that. He would call himself and dad being energy. So he would put lots of people like Meg Kelly, Candace Owens. I mean, he had lots and Insurrection Barbie. This dude had countless people that he would basically put as an internet dad. Okay. And it's dad energy, meaning their job's to kind of watch the playground to make sure that there's no pedos hanging out, right? I probably just got demonetized. I'm not making any money anyway. So, okay, from now on, don't say that word. But you guys know what I'm saying. That is the dad. Okay. Business for breakfast. That, thank you, Pati. That is, I know I'm not saying that right. I destroyed your name. It's a daily show like the Daily Scott Adams show, where we're going to come on every day. It's going to be encouragement, but mainly this is for mom and pop venti shop owners, mom and pop business owners. And venti does not mean large because of Starbucks. It means 20. So 1 to 20, which tends to be like the mom and pop segment. Nobody helps us. Nobody encourages us. We get the heck beat out of us every day. So honestly, today is like a daily little church service for us. You're going to hear the top business trending news. You're going to get encouraged, inspired. Every episode, we finish every episode with a reframe from Scott Adams' latest book, How to Reframe Your Brain. I'm telling you guys, the purpose of this show is to make you 1% smarter today. And trust me, I guarantee you will. Thank you for asking that question. That's the purpose of the show. Okay. But we're talking about Scott Adams. And here's the thing. I'm seeing something beautiful happen after his passing last week. Okay. I knew that this dude had a mad following because if you follow trending politics, every day somebody is referencing this dude. Okay. But after he passed away, the entire world mourned. The whole world mourned. And within days, Meetup groups started posting like like Coffee with Scott Adams, like Meetup groups started happening. And so I'm not exaggerating. I want to help you guys. Go on X right now. This is a big deal, man. Like, listen to this. Listen, here are the events that are coming up. We've got Georgia, Bentonville, Arkansas. We've got Pennsylvania, Virginia, Thailand, Cincinnati, Denver, Grapevine, Texas is this Saturday morning at 8:30 a.m. DFW, it's going to be in Grapevine, Texas, 8:30 a.m. Excuse me. They only have, I think they're only allowing 14 slots. And I got in. The second it happened, I was like, I'm in. It's like you have to RSVP. By the time I RSVP'd, I was the second to last spot to RSVP. But Texas, Tennessee, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Ontario, Canada, Australia, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Florida, California. Guys, this is mind-bending. And here's what I feel like happened. I think Scott, and by the way, please, you guys know I was a minister for 10 years and I'm a Jesus freak. So when I say this, please do not take me out of context. This dude is the modern day Jesus, not because he saved the world from your spirit, but because he saved the world from propaganda. Okay. And this dude, I call him our modern day oracle. You are starting to see people come out of the woodwork. And it's almost like Scott was the bottleneck from the movement happening. But the same way, like, in a sense, Jesus had to get out of the way for us to say, oh, we will carry this torch. We will carry it. And I feel like the day after he passed away is the exact reason why I felt my red light go from the daily business for breakfast that I've been thinking and planning and working on for a year, go from when he got in the hospital to yellow. And then when he passed away, it literally went green. And the very next day, I did the very first episode. I felt it because I felt I was one of the students that it was now our mission to go carry the good news. And so what you're seeing now are little meetups of people carrying the news, spreading how to, yes, analyze news and remove propaganda, critical thinking skills, persuasion skills, canarying the coal mine, teaching you reframes and values. And are you kidding? Yes, all of that in a 1 hour Scott Adams show. It's true, man. So that is a huge thing that's trending right now. Are these nationwide and now becoming worldwide Coffee with Scott Adams meetup groups? And I can't even tell you, I don't think I'm going to sleep until Saturday morning. Getting a chance to hang out with people that like obsess over this dude. You understand? I've watched this dude did a show 7 days a week, literally since 2016, I think. I started watching his daily show and I have not missed one episode since 2017. Not one episode. I'm not the only one. Thousands of people have because the dude changes your life, right? And so that's a big, big, big story happening right now in the news. But what else is happening in the news? Huh? Huh? What else is trending? I know you want to know. Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about what's trending. Let's go back up here. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. All right. What else is going on? Oh, you know what? This is really, really cool because I saw this and it was in Inc. magazine. And here's the title: Why a Little Reframing Can Go a Long, Long Way. That is an actual story in Inc. And it was posted on the 18th. Okay. Why a little reframing go a long, long way. Who do you think is the one that started talking about the power of reframing? Come on now. Like Candace, when you know, right? You know. Okay. You know, right? That's what I'm saying, right? When you know. Okay. And honestly, with that, I think that probably is a perfect kind of segue into kind of wrapping up. And I like to kind of just talk about something that a tip or trick that's been helping me personally, because I find that what you guys struggle with and what I struggle with tend to be the same thing. So, and I'm constantly experimenting on myself. So if something works, you guys know I share it with you. And you guys know I put no filters. I just give it to you, man. Because in the end, um, I think, right? I just want to help everybody suffer less. I just want to be useful. Okay. And so I need to give you guys for me, it's like my ADD tip of the week. Okay. And so ADD has quite literally the most powerful brain on planet Earth. It's a magnifying glass. Okay. But the problem is that individuals that suffer and struggle with ADD learned the most important skill of an ADD brain, which is learning how to train it and harness the power. Okay. So you guys, if you guys were like me, born in the 70s, part in the 80s, or like we were born in the 70s, grew up in the 80s, part in the 90s. If you were like us, okay, you guys remember like ADD was not a thing for us growing up, okay? And so this is something that in the last couple, 2 or 3 decades, we're starting to pick up. And here's the key. When it comes to ADD, one of the things that we struggle with, okay, is our active brain. And think of it like a magnifying glass, which literally just kind of lets you see things a little bigger. But if you learn how to harness it, okay, and that is why I always call the ADD brain the Helen Keller brain. Okay, ADD brain is the Helen Keller brain. You guys remember seeing the black and white movie with Helen Keller, okay, when she was blind and deaf. Go watch it. It's on YouTube. And watch. She's going around the table and just grabbing food, like slamming her face. And then she gets to like Ann Sullivan and she's like, no. And for you guys hearing, I just slapped the hell out of my hand. Here it is again. No. Helen Keller had never had a hand slap. Whole family felt bad for this gal. So guess what? None of you have ever slapped the crap out of your ADD brain. Okay. It's time for you to slap the hand of your Helen Keller. You know what I'm talking about. If you're a struggler, if you're a sufferer, I'm literally talking to you because I'm talking to me, right? You guys know the purpose of this freaking show is for me. I need this first thing in the morning, right? And so here is my personal, Aaron's tip of the day, right? And it's real simple. You struggle with your brain always in different places other than where you're at, right? Right. Okay. Yes. Or you can say living in real life, but thinking delusional. Oh my gosh. Flipping brilliant. Absolutely freaking brilliant. Okay. Yes. I'm going to call you PP. Oh my God. PP, my 1cc. That came straight from PP, my 1cc. That's right. Okay. That's exactly right. It's delusional thinking. But here's the tip. And by the way, what I'm about to tell you literally makes my life 1 billion times easier. I'm gonna teach you 2 tricks to never forget where you put something. I know. And I know if you're an ADDer, what I'm about to tell you is what you struggle with 90% of the time. Number 1, where you put something, and number 2, where the hell you parked. Come on now. Can I get a amen and a woot woot? A woot woot, right? I know it. Number 1, don't put it down, put it away. Don't put it down, put it away. Every single time you touch something, the most important thing you have to do is snap your brain back for 5 seconds and realize what the hell you're doing that very second. So you have to think something when you're doing it. It has to be an intentional thought. Intentional thought. Okay. So you're doing something, you have it in your hand. Just remember, don't put it down, go put it away. This morning, I had like 3 pairs of shoes in my hand. I wanted to go put it in the corner. No, put it in the closet. Don't put it down, put it away. Come on now. Come on. You know I'm speaking to you, right? Okay. You want to remember how you remember your car? Ready? Ask yourself one question when you're walking in the store. Okay. Where exactly did I park according to the front of the building? That's it. And that's the only pattern interrupt you need to get your brain to make that a memory marker. These are memory markers, but you've got to pattern interrupt your crazy ass brain. Your Helen Keller brain needs a hand slap every once in a while. You got to slap the hand of your Helen Keller brain and you will remember everything. Right? Also, you guys know, this is the ADD lesson of the day. I'm going to give you guys a book that will literally change your life. Excuse me, it'll change your life. And that book is called Getting Things Done by David Allen. That book, I got to be honest with you, absolutely unequivocally changed my life. I read hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books, 80% of them business related. It's in my top 3. For sure, top 3. The only reason you don't see it here is because it's Kindle, right? So it's stored, up in the cloud. It changed my life, and it will change your life, okay? Because he teaches, in my opinion, the greatest organizational system for an ADDer you've ever seen. And it's so old school, it uses like the manila file folders and paper, like scratch paper. I know, it's like, oh, don't you just love it? You feel it, it's like this. Come on now. You guys know what this is? I'm going to just keep it here, okay? Because sometimes we need to hear this. You guys, there's something magical about that, okay? It's the clicking, it's mechanical. I don't know, man. I freaking love it. Okay. So getting things done absolutely will teach you how to reframe everything. And this is kicker, man. This is kicker, okay? And when he put this in the book, because you have to understand, my nature is to have a horrible memory. But he writes in the book, Getting Things Done by David Allen, literally will change your life, okay? And he talks in there that everything that you have to reference a lot, we use our brains as basically portable filing cabinets. And remember, he wrote this book before we had phones or anything like this. Okay. So you have to remember, he basically was like, we're storing too much crap in our brain. And because of that, you understand think this as the capacity of your brain. Okay. Can be held by what you can remember. But if, I don't know, half of what you have to remember on a daily basis is crap that should be in a filing cabinet that you should be able to index and reference easily, you just basically removed all your ability to remember anything because it just overflows because you're trying to remember all this crap like what's our phone number? What's that address? What's my credit card number? What's my this? What's my that? What's whatever it is? What's my login and password? Okay. You're trying to do it here and you're not remembering anything else. You're crippling your brain. David Allen teaches you and how to getting things done. Everything that you have to reference must be out of your brain where you can get to it within a couple steps, a couple seconds, a couple clicks. Okay. It's got to be able to get to easily. Okay. And then he said, once you start emptying your brain of the stuff you have to reference a lot, all of a sudden you start remembering everything. And I was like, BS. I called straight BS. I was like, not a chance. There's no way. I swear on my life, it works. It freaking works. And I got to give you like a few little 80 ears that can't remember a name to save your effing life. Okay. All right. Check this. When I was in ministry years ago, one of the most important skills you must learn when you're in ministry is remembering people you meet. That is an enormous problem if you can't remember somebody you met 2 seconds ago, right? Check it, players. Check it, okay? Because I accidentally figured out the hack of how to remember people's name. And it starts with one of my OCD habits, okay, of quickly documenting. That's it. So I started this how to remember names about 15 years ago. And I did it accidentally because if you know me at all, you guys know that I have OCD. And one of my ticks is that I document everything. Literally, it's an illness for me. I document everything, including, I'm not kidding, I have a note right now on my phone that says it's a number of contact, and I've got a link say it says waiter, waiters. Click the link, and it pulls straight to a note that I have in Evernote of every waiter that has waited every restaurant I've been in since this list is 2014, but I have a list before that was 5 years before that, since 2014. And I document the date, the restaurant name, the city, the state, and then the waiter with like stars. Now, why? Easy. Because every person on planet Earth values their name. Every one of us does. I'm obsessed with names. I'm obsessed with names. Your name is important. You matter. So when you call people by their name and you don't mispronounce it, you don't spell it wrong, what you're telling that person subconsciously is, I matter to you. But here's the thing in the restaurant space, I hate doing this. Miss. Excuse me, sir. Yeah. Sorry, not happening. Oh, and by the way, listen to this. You talk about elephant brain. No kidding. We were in a restaurant last week. I can see the note that I just did for the Mexican restaurant, and our waitress's name was Matea. Yep. I freaking remember that, bro. There's no phone, nothing. That was a week ago, bro. Matea. You remember crap, bro. Just document it. You've got to engage the brain for a half a second, and you will start remembering everything, man. Everything. Okay? So let's wrap this bad boy up with a amazing little reframe from our dad, Mr. Scott Adams. And you guys know every day I like to wrap this show up with a reframe from Scott's latest book, How to Reframe Your Brain. It's powerful. Reframes, it doesn't make any sense. You're not supposed to make every sense. It just doesn't make any sense. Okay. Man, PP, M1, my CC, PP, my 1cc. Thank you, dude. I really appreciate that, man. And so I'm doing this for us, bro. Okay. And I felt the release after Scott Adams passed. And so today's reframe in chapter 3 is on mental health reframes. Okay. So here's the thing. And here's the paragraph. I suspect most people think of themselves as being inseparable from their secret thoughts. If you privately harbor negative or positive feelings about something in the world, you think that's who you are. And that's unfortunate because your secret inner thoughts are probably mostly terrible. And they are, by the way. But remember what Tim Allen was talking about, right? Happiness is based off the quality of your thoughts, right? So that's literally what Scott's talking about here. Okay. And that's unfortunate because your secret inner thoughts are probably mostly terrible. Why would you want to be terrible? You have options. This reframe reveals them. Here's the usual frame: I am my inner thoughts. It's true. By the way, this used to be me. Um, Typically, high capacity, high controlling individuals tend to be insanely critical. Okay. Meaning, one of my gifts is you give me 1,000 words and I can find a missing period. It's a gift. Okay. But I will not let that manifest outwardly. I can't. Okay. So here's the new reframe: I am what I do. I am what I do. And I'm going to leave you with a quote from Mr. Warren Buffett about habits. Okay. The chains of habit are too light until they are too heavy to be broken. Become who you want to be. You get to decide. Uh, that's what everybody taught us, right? That's what this is, you know? So, honestly, guys, today, this show first is supposed to be an encouragement to me. And to be honest with you, I feel freaking fantastic. How do you guys feel? Like, it's always my litmus test. Am I like ready for the day? I feel fantastic. How do you guys feel? Because this is for us. Okay. This show is for us. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me every freaking day. Okay. And you guys know, listen to me, listen to me. If you have questions about anything we talked about here, go to businessforbreakfastradio.com. That is the personal scheduling website. Ask questions. I'll reply back to you. I'll read them on air. Or if you guys want to just chat with me and we want to talk about anything, any business idea we want to talk about, you know that my wife's and I accounting firm, we bought it from the last previous owner, and we're almost 60 years old. And for almost 60 years, we've been focused primarily on lightening the load off our mom and pop shoulders. We always say each of our owners has two elephants, one in each shoulder. Our job's to put those suckers in the sauna and make them lighter, right? So if you guys want to hang out with me or we want to talk about anything, honestly, go to speakwithaaron.com. That's speakwithaaron.com. Speakwithaaron.com. And that's my scheduling website. Goes right to my calendar. And just like a doctor, I call you on the nose. All right, you beautiful people. Well, guys, I think that probably wraps up. What do you think? The best business for breakfast you've ever seen? Be honest. I know it is. God, today was freaking packed. I think you guys got like 3% smarter today. That's how freaking amazing it was. Today's not a 1%er. Today's like a 3% smart day. Okay. But you know what? I got to jet, right? So you know what? We always finish every episode with what? You guys know. Whether you think it's hard or you think it's easy, you're right. You guys know what time it is, right? It's time to get to work. Oh.